Okay. お願いします。
お願いします。
Okay. Just a little bit of loosening. Oh. Front and back. What's that? And side to side. And rotating. Inside, outside, whoosh. Breathing in, stretching right up, and down, and curling back up through the spine. And just holding it at the bottom, loosening the upper body. Just swinging the arms through the legs a little bit. Working the arms side to side. Letting them turn. And just working big spiral. Arms moving in circles. And really slowly working your way back up. Just standing. And just keep the motion going in the arms. Just take it up and just swing. Working the hips side to side. To the shoulders. And change direction. Okay. Now just stretch out the arms. Pull them out tight. Pull in front and back. Include the whole chest and back shoulder blades. And just rolling the elbows. And away. Yeah. And working them out. And reverse it. And just working the wrists. It's a little bit freer. Just grasping the palms together. Okay, take the wrist over the top. Change. Configuration. And change. Thumb over the top. And change. Into Sankhya. And change. The fingers over and back. And change. Yeah. Okay, making fists. Spreading the fingers out. Shake them out. And front and back. Rolling. Away. And rolling the arms down. And shake the legs. And the whole body. And just make it smaller and smaller around the center. Okay, great. Takemusu Great. Good. Okay, we're just shoulder width apart. Just reaching the back and draining down. Nice and light. Just pulling the back. Drain it down. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, just watch it again. One thing that can be kind of a little bit counterproductive to this exercise, especially when you do this one, just watch as you go, especially as you get further down here. Watch the shoulders don't kick up and out, which will basically pull the body out. If you think about 𝒊𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒂, this kind of movement, you're kind of trying to get the shoulders into these kind of positions where the shoulders are up and basically roll out of the back. So feel that as you do this, that actually the priority is the shoulder rolling back into the body rather than getting the sword into this kind of position. So don't worry about the sword being kind of cast out. Just think about the sword just draining through the structure, and especially the shoulders here. The other one to watch for is don't let the right shoulder drift forward. So you don't want the right shoulders kind of be pushing in this way where you're kind of twisting the body in. Let the body, as if you imagine like a cross in the structure, You've got the central axis and you've got the axis across the arms. So just let them fall into each other. Especially don't let the shoulders roll up, which will really take you out of the structure. Aim for the weight to kind of mostly hit the heel of the foot. And let the shoulders just kind of roll back into the structure. Down. Great, there we go. Yeah, we got nice. Yeah, and the other thing in this case, when we're doing about grounding and settling the body, the tendency is to push the body down into the ground. So to try and kind of, in a way, increase the pressure down. And again, this will kind of counteract what you're trying to do, which is settle the body down. So just get a sense that you're just dropping the body down, so the body just drains down. So rather than thinking about pushing down, especially from the top, or even from the knees, like that, just get a sensation that you just drain it down. So do a few also really slow, so you get the sensation that it's just like a kind of whoop, just drains down. Most of the mobility is really coming from the hip joint. So let the hip just kind of fall. So at that point there. Yeah, and just let the structure drop into the ground. So it's less of a kind of downward action, more of a kind of hinging of the body. You've got to kind of hit in the hip. In the hip, release it. Hinge in the hip. And the body should just be grounded all the time. So you shouldn't feel a kind of increase in pressure too much. As you come down, it shouldn't be kind of that. It should just be there. So that kind of grounding in the body is a kind of constant. Just looking to settle it in the ground. Yeah, good. And just do the same coming into hand me. So do both left side, right side. Just do a few on each side. So you take your time, find the back, and then again, feel that the hips really hinging into the ground. And again, especially now, watch the shoulders don't start to kind of drift forward into these kind of positions. So just find the back and just drain it down. You might find it useful now to really let the right hand go as well, or at least keep it very soft on the sword. So there's no tendency to grip the sword. Just keep it there. And left side as well. Exactly the same. There. We go. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, keep the same idea. So you've got this kind of cross in the body. What you don't want now is to break this structure, especially in the spine here. So you don't want, in this case, from here, you don't want, in this case, the upper body to lean over and be in this kind of position. You want the upper body's long, and you just press it in. Press it in. So think that the whole spine stays long, and that the only thing that's really going, the knees are open. They're gonna hinge as well, but mostly that hinges the hip. Hinges the hip, and just watch now that the shoulders and the upper body don't start to kind of split out from that structure. So just keep this feeling of length, and really take your time at the back. Really find that length where you feel like it's long, wide, and then you keep it as you go in. Keep it as you go in. Just watch this, and obviously you've got the weight in the bokken, which is going to pull the shoulders forward, or want to pull the shoulders forward. Just let it sink back into the body. This feeling all the time of draining down through the structure. And shoulders rolling back. Yeah. That's it. Good. And then just coming back to shoulder width apart, you're just gonna place the sword now. So again, find the back, really take your time, feel this length and width, and then just draw it down into the structure. The key thing now with this one, keep this a little bit slower, and just watch the sword as it comes down, not kind of looking at it, but just notice what's happening with the sword. You want it to pass through, straight through a vertical. Straight through a vertical. The trick now again is don't try and control the sword. Try and set the body up so that it's just the sword's just got one path to follow, and that it's not gonna have the body unstable and it's gonna start to kind of drift, or the arm's trying to take control. So just feel like you're placing it down on a surface in front of you. And just watch the path of the sword. Just let it pass through the central axis, right through it. Not so easy. Yeah, good. Okay, the same exercise, just slightly different. Just keep one hand loose on the sword, so it can be either the left or the right. So as you come down, keep one hand open. So what you want to feel is that as you go down, the way the grip's set up, that it's just going to land into the center of the hand, into the top of the hand here. So you go through here, just keep it open, and just feel that point when it just stops, so that the sword will just kind of stick in place. It won't go any further unless I kind of add a movement with the arm. So you can do this left side or right side. Do this nice and slow because you don't want to be kind of stopping the sword at speed or with momentum. So just let it drop down and just feel it there, just sticks into it. So the sword just won't go anywhere else. It won't feel like it needs to go anywhere else, just there. You know, this sensation like it's slotting into the ground via the hips. So in a way, you're really trying to link the upper body to the lower body. And nice and soft with the sword. It's got this kind of quality. There we go. And then again, just try the same in hand me. So left side, right side, mix them in. Just placing it. So really feel the hips now come into place. And you want to feel that you're really hitting the central axis through the base of the feet. Right in the middle. And then you join it with the sword extended out. Yeah, if you've got a mirror or something, just watch the descent of the sword. Should just pass right through the center of the body. You've got a nice clean showmanship. Again, just play with the hands. You can have one hand loose. Also, loosening the hands will tell you whether the hands are pushing, like trying to divert the sword left and right by controlling too much. It's usually the right hand starts to do this. Starts to kind of push this way and that way. There, good. Again, try and make it as much about the hips as possible. Both sides. Exactly. Good. Good. And then again, back to shoulder width, just playing with the focus now. So play with it how you like. Go into the back, it's finishing down. The key is now don't try and add any power and just keep that same movement and same focus on the down, the hip, and just bring in the handwork. Just at the last moment. Just at the last moment. You want to feel now that the grip's adding to the settling and adding to the focus rather than doing anything to disrupt it. So especially now, just be conscious of the body. What happens with the grip, the moment you switch the grip on, what happens in the body? Just allow it to settle more and more. If you get this settling in the body, you should feel something in the center go also. That kind of vibration will also feed into the center. Yeah. arms. And then again, just go into hammy. So left side, right side, mix them in freely. And just feel the body even every time, just more and more settling down. Settling down. Wash. Wash. Good. Okay, just exactly the same exercise, just a little bit more flexible. Keep the move. The key with this, keep the movement big. Don't try and shorten the movement. So especially now with the feet, when you do this movement, really allow the foot to come back. So you're really gonna find the back as you go. So the back and then in. So you want to feel that the foot goes. The foot's really gonna come back. You find this lengthened position and then roll it in. You're just gonna bring it together. So this. So you want to feel the foot's really lightened, made light, and then coming in. So you want the sensation of a kind of wave. So try and feel the up and the down are really working in unison. So, and there's a meeting in the sword. So it's not just down, it's also the ups meeting the descent. And just keep it a bit more flexible. So you reach the back, cut in. Reach the back, cut in. Reach the back, cut in. Like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, always with the flexible work, there's two things you can look at. Think that the sword's a reflection of the body, so the sword should never stop, so it shouldn't get stuck on the hip now, stuck on the spine. So just watch it. It shouldn't get stop and then go, stop and then go. The key to that is the hip work. So don't think that the hips stop at all. So as you basically got to link the hip work with the sword. So the sword and back and back. So think that moment's really a flexible moment. It's gonna go this way, this way. So as you reach the spine, the hips are already flexing. So the hips have gone by the time that happened. Just play with the rhythm of it. You basically need to break up the 𝒊𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒕 because I can't use the basic pattern now. It's something a bit more flexible. And it's really, this is a flexible training is a great way to tell me where I'm moving where I'm starting the movement from. So if I'm starting the arms, it will really show when I do these kind of flexible movements because the body will start to kind of split as you do it. So just get this, keep the sense that you're working right from the center. And the tell is the hips again. So let the hips stay active all the time. Exit. That's it. There we go. Yeah. Good. Nice. Good. Yeah, and then the second thing to look at is the raise. So think that as you make the cut here, you've got this. Let it really settle, and then feel this. This is also a kind of elastic release through it. Release it. So let that movement be really flexible. Everything's going to draw up from the hip in. So think that everything from, take your time at this point, really feel that everything goes hip first. So the hips are really leading the movement. Hip, 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 hip. And just play with the sword. Don't feel that you have to find the back now, but just feel that the hips are releasing everything. So really see the hip as the hinge for the body. Yeah. It's going to release it. Come on, release it. Come on. This way. Good. 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 And then just keep that flexibility, take it into Zen Yogi. So you go here, and then the same thing, release from the hip. So really flexible, hip, hip. See that whole movement as one thing. Hips, hips, there. So it's nice and flexible. And the footwork's really essential to really allow the hips to ground all the time. As simple as possible with the footwork. Good. And then we come into number 2, so just rolling back, raising up to the top. Find the back cutting in. So really placing the feet forwards and backwards. There. Keep that same sensation, really settling the body at each point. Down. Settle. Settle into the cut. Both these movements are really essential. The backwards roll and the forward step.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, so get really focusing on the hip work, get the sense from here that the hips are really folding in. So you've got this, and then this back hip's really gonna coil into itself. So feel the body's traveling through itself, or you're traveling through your own structure, rather than in this case, somewhere around it. And somewhere around it, kind of body's working like this. So feel again, this kind of central axis is shifting all the time. And in this case, the case of 𝒊𝒏𝒈 working on the line. Really get a sense that the body's kind of folding into itself, especially in the step back. This. And then from here, this. Coming through. So really allow the, especially the hips, in this case, to really fold. Again, that motion's going to come from the hip hinging. Good. That's it. That's it. Good. Good. Just take one more step and take it into a 𝒂𝒂𝒻. So you come here, back, let this land in the ground. So you've got a nice clear 𝒊𝒏𝒈, and then just use that organization here, press the front, and take it into a 𝒂𝒂𝒻 on the right side. So you go into the back, 𝒊𝒏𝒈, and then release it. 𝒂𝒂𝒻. And really keeping that front hip really mobile. In, release it as you go into the cut. And the hips really hinging and folding. Yeah. Yeah, again, think about this kind of central axis and this axis across the shoulders as well and the hips. So when you do this one, just watch for these kind of movements where the arm starts kind of pull out of that structure. Think that always the sword's going to move around that structure. So think that when you're here, again, the structure is going to pass through and the sword works through it. But in this case, it doesn't find its way off that kind of axis. Then the sword's kind of orbiting the body rather than working from the center. So let that position. You've got that nice clear position here, and then let it go through it. So it's a nice tight movement. I think sometimes you should be able to do this through the door. So you should be able to find their way through a doorway. The sword shouldn't be kind of coming out at the sides in this way. Yeah, that's it. Which again needs really flexible shoulders, or it needs the shoulders to be open. It needs the hips to be opening as well. But think that the body's rotating on this axis. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Good. So let's take a little bit further, go into a set. So you go back, striking with the shomenuchi, yoko menuchi, hit, release it, roll to the back, and then come in, yoko menuchi, and we're going to a ski. Goes that way, working with number 7. So you go back, in, yoko menuchi, release it, yoko men, ski, on the left. And then back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back. Okay, we'll just extend it 2 more movements. So you go here to the back, in, yokomen, here, roll to the back, yokomen, ski. Now from here, you're going to roll to the back, and what I want you to do is drop the sword down. You're going to let the sword come down to this position. Go here, and then yokomen to finish. So to make this last move, you can really pause at the end of it. So what you don't want to do this kind of kata is like a kind of da, 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 da. So you really don't rush through it. So use this last movement really as a kind of pause in the movement. So you got activity there, 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 there. Let everything just drain down. Take it here and then move. So really feel like at that point it's a really kind of still moment in the set. It's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And back. Let's do that. Yeah, just watch this moment. So this is a good one to really get out of the arms. So especially this one, we tend to do like this in the arms, and then everything's going to come from the arm. And now, especially with this one, what you've got to do is really let the arms release. So the arms are really release it. What you don't want to do is be on the outside. So be somewhere here. So don't see this as a cutting movement at all. You could translate it into a cut, but in this case, just let it drain down. So the shoulders are really back into the body. So you want to feel again the central axis, and then just whoa. You just come into the next movement. You don't want to feel that you're stuck out in this kind of position, and then the arms have to pull back into the center to kind of start the movement. So really think all the time, be really conscious about the center of the body, and anchoring all the time the sword, the center, the sword, and the center, center, center. So especially when you're doing nothing with the sword, or in this case, draining it down, feel that it's really, really locked into the center. Yeah. Nice. That's great. Okay, good. Okay, the last few, just play with these 3 positions. So you've got the hands up high here, and then just cutting in. You've got the hands here up high again in a blocking position, and then just cutting in. And then you've got this position where the hands are low, the sword's low, and you want to just cut in this way. So just play with them and just play with that transition straight into the cut. So again, really working with the central axis of the body. You try and find it, the balance there, and then the ability again just to move into it. You'll find the first one the easiest because you're really just set up for the cut, totally there. And the last one's a little bit trickier. There, there, and then and just really feel that settling through the structure. Good. That's good. Great. Okay, we'll stop there. Very good. よし、どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Very good.